say that on camera.
You just said it in the mic, too.
Oh,
840 Fox Sports Radio. Welcome back to The Huddle, brought to you by 956sports.com, powered by our friends at Mickey D's. I've got to do this. We get a couple of hits every now and then on the Facebook. Who exactly is this Rick Miller guy? Leslie, help me out there. Let me know if we're getting, when we get our man Slick Rick on the camera there. Right there. That's our man, Rick Miller. He's the man that lets the show fly on the radio. All right, I hate to be the ego guy, but turn the camera back on me now. And Jake, follow Leslie's direction as to where she needs to be. Oh, that's a good shot right there. I can see it. We're good. We're perfect.
My mom is going to be so happy.
She is? You're making your internet debut? Well,
no.
Your debut on the internet with
something
your clothes,
I can show the family.
With your clothes on. Let's preface it like that. All right, coming up at 9 a.m., we've got head coach Ron Adame of the Sharyland Rattler football program. He's going to be joining us here in the huddle on 840 Fox Sports Radio. He is the newest head coach of the Rio Grande Valley. As he got the job, was it Tuesday or was it last Friday?
Friday, right?
Last Friday is when he got the gig. So he's going to be joining us here in the huddle and part of the show.
I'm really happy about I was a kid and I wound up living in South Dakota my last 2 years of high school. And I got
when was Argentina? What about Colombia and Brazil?
Panama.
That entire tour of the Central American states that you took.
That was before South Dakota.
Okay.
But I grew up in, my last 2 years in South Dakota. I actually got to watch our next guest play basketball at Iowa.
Really?
Yeah, the guy was sick.
Kenyon Murray, who actually played in the era of the Fab Five?
Yeah.
From 1992 to 96, I believe, at Iowa.
Yeah.
He was a member of the Hawkeye team. Now he's part of the Big Ten Network, and he's joining us here in the huddle on 840 Fox Sports Radio. Hey, Kenyon, good morning, sir. How are you?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Doing very well. I guess this is the busy time of the year for you at the Big Ten Network, huh?
Yeah, it's been busier, but, just trying to keep track of everything that's going on leading up to the tournament and hoping that my Hawkeyes at least get some kind of postseason bid after they kind of turn around their season this year.
Will they get some love, do you think?
I think so. I think the NIT is definitely going to look at them, and then I know there's another, like the CIBI term or something like that is going to take a look, too. I think if you look at, Carver, Hawkeye, and the fans and stuff that we have there, if they get an NIT bid, Iowa will definitely draw, and hopefully they'll take that into consideration. But I think they will be playing somewhere postseason.
At the least, the College Insider basketball tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we look forward to seeing the Hawkeyes and represent. We actually had them here on the island. I want to say it was 3 years ago when they came down and they played at our South Padre Island basketball tournament here a few years back.
Yeah, they did, and I think that was with Coach Licklider and those guys. So,
yes.
It is exciting right now. Coach McCaffrey's got them going in the right direction. A top 15 recruiting class coming in next year, so I think things are looking good for the Iowa Hawkeyes as they try and turn things around, and I think we got the guy here that can get it done for us. So,
it's always difficult when you've got to swing that boat back around and say, okay, we need to take the program in a different direction, and you've got the right man at the helm for it now.
Yeah, we do. I think Fran brings a passion to the game that we've been lacking. I think he understands the fans, and he's really a guy that has basically just made himself available to anything and everything that's Iowa Hawkeyes. And I think with that, he's endeared himself to the people here, and he's got a lot of support, and the guys play hard for him. And when you play that hard and you start adding talent to the style that he brings to Iowa, there's only going to be good things, and he's proven that he can turn programs around. So we're excited here in the state, and like I said, hopefully looking forward to them playing in the postseason.
Kenyon, you've seen Iowa play some mid majors this year. I know you guys have played South Dakota State, where I went to college at. What's your take on the mid majors that will be in the tournament? Is there anyone that really catches your eye?
Well, I think when you look at them, obviously Creighton is a team that's played very, very well. They've been in the top 25 pretty much all season. They've got an first-round NBA draft pick in Doug McDermott. And so they've got the things that I believe can give them a run in the tournament. They've got a good inside game, and they've got perimeter shooting. And like I said, they got an NBA caliber player. I really like, you can't count out VCU. Shaka Smart did it again this year, even though they struggled a little bit in the beginning of the season. He's really turned it around, and they won their conference tournament, so I think that'd be a team to watch out for. And Wichita State is another team that I think is very good. They lost early in their conference tournament, but Wichita State. And then if you talk about mid-majors, you got to mention Murray State, even though that they've definitely proven that they can play at a high level. They're considered a mid-major, and I think they're a team, too, with the way they shoot the basketball from the perimeter, can really get going and put up some numbers. And those are really the mid-majors that I think people need to watch out for.
Now, as far as the Big Ten teams, which ones do you think? Do you think Northwestern has a chance to make it in? And if not, who are your teams do you think that will go the furthest in the Big Ten?
Well, I think Northwestern really hurt themselves losing in the first round against Minnesota in the tournament. They were on the bubble there, sub 500 record. So I think everybody had them on that last four in just because they've never been to the tournament, and I think a lot of people were pulling for them to get to the tournament. All he needed to do probably was win one game in the Big Ten tournament. I think that would have got him in. But I think they're looking at an NIT bid. With that, they've got one of the best players in the conference, if not the country, in John Sherna. So he'll definitely be on display in the postseason. But as far as the Big Ten teams, I really like Michigan State. You got to like them anytime they get to the postseason. Coach Izzo's got them playing unbelievable basketball right now. They've got the Big Ten Player of the Year in Draymond Green, who's a proven leader. And they're so big and so long. And with the guys shooting the ball like they have from the perimeter over the last couple of weeks, I think Michigan State is a team that can definitely go deep into the tournament, maybe a Final Four run. You got to like Ohio State with two NBA caliber players in Buford and Sullinger. I think they're primed to make a run in the tournament. And then, Michigan is a team that I think, depending on the draw, depending on what region they're in, they can cause some noise too. So those are definitely the top three. Wisconsin, they're one of those teams that are on the outside. They may win one the first round. Depending on matchups, they've been kind of snake bit, depending on who they match up with in the second round, whether it's a real athletic team that can close out on their shooters and things like that. So those are the teams in the Big Ten I think can really make a run. I really like Michigan State and Ohio State to get deep into the tournament, though.
Now we saw some things that happened after the Big Ten tournament, or after the first, the last game with Illinois and Michigan State, with Tom Izzo basically saying that he thought that Illinois handled the firing of Coach Weber, badly. What was your take on that?
Well, I think so. You look at his track record. I think the one thing that I've learned from being on the Big Ten Network and dealing with the coaches is, Bruce Weber is a stand-up guy. I think he's doing things the right way. People knock him for not being able to recruit Chicago, but a lot of the good Chicago kids don't stay in state. They go to the Dukes and the North Carolinas and Kentuckys and places like that. So I don't think you can blame him necessarily for not being able to recruit Chicago. It's just a matter of now kids want to go. They want to go to big-time programs. Kids are looking for that jump, to go to the NBA. And it's no knock on Illinois, but, there's other programs that kind of catapult those players. So, I think a lot of times we get into you get a situation where you have a new athletic director there. Ron Zook's gone, Gillette Law's gone, and now Bruce Weber's gone. And a lot of times when you see a change of regime at the top, they really want to clean house and put their people in place. And I think that Bruce Weber was just a victim of circumstance where an athletic director came in and said, hey, we got to change some things. And for him, that meant really getting rid of some of the coaches there in their most prominent programs in their men's and women's basketball and football.
Do you think Bruce Weber will land on his feet next year with a top-tier program, or is he going to have to work his way back up?
Well, I think he's earned the right to really look at what he wants to do. You see he's got a $3.9 million buyout with Illinois, so I don't think he'd be in any rush to jump into something that wasn't right for him. He's definitely got one of the best coaches in the country behind him in Tom Izzo, and so I think, you could see Coach Weber maybe taking a little bit of time off and really waiting to see what opens up out there. He's been successful. He's earned the right to really pick and choose where he wants to go. So I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Weber took a year off or so and, just kind of, got a reprieve and re-energize his batteries and see him back on the floor in, maybe 1 or 2 years.
$3.9 million, so I take it he's going to go to ESPN and make another couple million for next season, and then he'll join you with the Big Ten Network for a while, too?
I don't know, but, if I had to buy out like that, I'd be chilling for a little bit, too. So.
Who's going to be wearing Cinderella's slipper this year?
I was thinking about that the other day, and I think that with the teams that we see on the bubble getting in or the ones that might not get in, I think that the top teams, the 1 and the 2 seed teams that we see projected by all the prognosticators, I think that those teams are so strong. When you look at the ones that you talk Kentucky, Kansas, possibly North Carolina, Michigan State, teams like that, and then you got Duke and Baylor and Missouri and teams like that in the second seed. I think that in Ohio State, I think those teams are so strong at the top. It's going to be hard to really pick a Cinderella. It's going to have to be a team that has a very, very favorable bracket, just because the top, 8 seeds or so are just going to be so strong in this tournament. Like I said, a team like VCU that's been there, done that, can definitely be a team that can make a run. I really do like Creighton. I think they got a good coach. They got a good mix of inside, outside. They've got a center in Echenike who played against NBA level talent and is the starting center for the Venezuela national team. So you got experience there. So I really like Creighton to be the darling of the tournament. But if Murray State gets a favorable run and they continue to shoot the basketball like they have, I think that they're another team that could surprise a lot of people. But other than that, it's been so hard to really find somebody, because most of the other teams, as you look up and down, have been so inconsistent, up and down, that the top teams really look strong going into the tournament this year.
Okay, so when it comes time and that first team is eliminated, what's going to be that team that you go, I can't believe that they're out already?
It's hard to see it, but I don't know. I just haven't fallen in love with Syracuse, and that's a team that I think might get bounced early, especially if they don't shoot the basketball well. Now, their zone, their length, and their athleticism will overcome a lot of the things that may deter them, if they don't shoot the ball well from the perimeter. But Syracuse is one of those teams. I just after watching the other night them getting beat, I just don't really feel strong about that team, because in a close game, who's going to take that shot? They have so many guys that contribute to that team. It's who's going to be the guy to take that shot? So Syracuse is one, and I think Missouri is another team that could get bitten quick, because they are kind of one-dimensional. They've done absolutely wonderful this year in the way they've been consistent shooting the ball from the perimeter and being such a perimeter-oriented team. And their center is only 6'7", 6'8". So I think that's a team that I wouldn't be shocked if they got knocked out early.
Considering the pressure that Syracuse has been under with Boeheim and with Fine, on his staff and being let go early in the season, I would not be surprised if they were one of those teams that fell apart kind of early and we were to see them go early in